Hello, this is Tim James doing the second part of the 301 portfolio. Um, as you can see, this is my game that I created. There's a nice background music that starts up before the game itself because that's initialized first. This is the game environment. There's loads of trees spawning. That is a function in Python, and our Ogre engine called Tree Loader. And that generates around 6,000 trees. They're randomly generated around the map, which is why some of them are touching and some of them aren't. There's also a function in our Python file that creates grass called Grass Loader. You can see this just on the ground there. And inside that there's several variables to set the length, the minimum and maximum height, as well as how much it sways in the wind. The environment itself, including the hills and the ground plane, are all generated from an Ogre mesh file that is in our game files as well, so you can have a look at that if you wish. Now, we did manage to get several of our game engine features imported into this game. The first of which is the GUI, which can be found at the top of the game window where it says instructions. We thought it was best to implement a GUI just because there's no other way of telling the user how to use the game apart from a TXT file that they might just overlook, so this way everyone knows how to play the game. We also added the sound file, as mentioned earlier, that will loop when it finishes the end, which is around about now. And this was used, we used OpenAL for this function. And here's me demonstrating the no clipping that was mentioned in the report as well. We did want to put no clipping throughout the entire game as a cheat mode as such, but then we found out we couldn't actually do that. So we just made it so when you actually come back to the game area, you snap back down to the ground. Now this is the wireframe mode that we added instead, and the point mode, so that you can actually see through the trees more clearly and locate the ogre. And as you can see, there is the ogre head. This is the main objective of the game, to find this ogre head. This is a pre-made function in Ogre called ogre head, and it just creates a ogre head from a mesh that is located in the ogre files. This is demonstrating the physics element that we can just snap back to the ground when you saw it earlier with the no clipping, and now you'll see it just the other way. Just snaps you back onto the ground because the gravity takes you there. And that is the game that we created for 301 CR on top of our game engine, and I will leave you with the ogre head.